I'm the biggest Man United fan you'll ever meet. We're 10 years off winning the league. I think Man United have to get the right people in the right places, and they have to have a plan, and everyone's got to be patient, because we're not going to win it next year, we're not going to win it the year after, we're not going to win it after that. Fundamentally, we're not going to get to the top again, because it's a 10-year cycle. Look at history.
Hi there. Spent the last few days looking through the highlights from an evening with Nicky Butt, hosted by my good friend Hans Hansen. You can find the full coverage on Hans' Patreon account. That's the link on the screen now. Meantime, in this special preview, I'm going to share some of the highlights from what was a hugely entertaining evening, full of insight, plenty of headlines, and some dry humour.
How would you change the squad? Keane wants to get rid of 10 players. Gary wants to get rid of 8 players on the overlap.
Guy did well at Valencia, didn't he? So he can.
Nicky's former teammate Mike Clegg was in the audience, and Butty didn't hold back when it came to talking about the current state of Manchester United Football Club. In this next clip, we're going to hear why Nicky believes we've made a mistake with the way we've managed the signing of Rasmus Hojlund.
Do you know what? I don't claim to be the next Man United manager. I don't claim to be the best football pundit. I don't claim to be the guru of recruitment. But what I do know is the Man United Football Club is fundamentally wrong right now. They're buying players that are just like, he's a good player, let's buy him. So, example, right, Hojlund is a very good talent. There's too much pressure on him to come to Man United. Why, if they think he's that good of a talent that's going to be the superstar, why don't they buy him and leave him there where he was for another season? So last season I think he scored 9-10 goals in the league. Leave him there for another year, let him score 20 goals, let him get a year older, let him build his way of moving to Manchester, bring him here with another elite forward above him, and ease him in, and he'll be a superstar in 3 or 4 years. You can't throw him into this football club with nobody around him in a team that's failing, and go, there you go, young man, go and set the biggest football club in the world on his shoulder and go and get us back to where we need to be. It's so unfair for him, it's ridiculous.
The thing about Nicky, of course, is that he's very much part of the Manchester United DNA. As a player, he did it all, a key member of our treble-winning team of 1999. He knows what it takes to be successful at Old Trafford. Coming up, some honest thoughts about our current squad, and an interesting take on who could be wearing the captain's armband, especially with Bruno banned from this weekend's trip to Liverpool.
Luke Shaw is the best left-back in the league. Whether you like Harry Maguire or not, he's not a bad defender. He's a good defender. He's not Champions League level, but he's a good defender. Midfield, Bruno is a top talent, but he's not in the midfield with the right people to support his play. McTominay, I think, can do a really good job box to box. Rashford is a world-class talent who's just not happy in his life or football or whatever it is. He's just not happy. And I tell my son, who's 16, if you're not happy playing football, then you're not going to play well. So that's the position he's in. Whatever the dynamic is, I don't know. He's not happy, he's not working hard enough, he's not happy. So, I'm very defensive of Marcus because I've known him since he was 8, and maybe I'm not the right person to speak to about him, because I'm very loyal to people that I really care about, and he's one of ours, and he is a top lad, great lad, an unbelievable talent, but even I will say he needs to sort his head out because he's not happy at the minute and he's not working hard enough. I know what I think, but I can't compare myself to Marcus because he is in the soul of a changing room right now. Let's be perfectly honest. I was in an unbelievable dressing room that you couldn't dream of. So like, literally you couldn't have picked or dreamt a better changing room. Marcus isn't. It's not just Marcus, by the way. It's not. Marcus gets the because it's Marcus Rashford is like the big name. It's not just him. There's a lot of them there that need to take responsibility for that football club. Yeah, but you can say leaders, but who the put Bruno Fernandes as captain of Man United? He's not a captain. By the way, I'm not having a pot because I like Bruno as a person. I'd have someone who would run through the brick wall for you. Scott McTominay right now. And then, by the way, he's not going to be Roy Keane. He's not going to be Brian Robson. But he would love the club and he'd do it.
Now don't forget, this is only some of the brief highlights from what was a fascinating evening with Nicky Butt. The full, uncensored version is being shown in 2 parts on Hans Hansen's Patreon channel. But before we sign off today, I think this next section really nails what's holding back Erik ten Hag.
If you're an elite, not even a football club, an elite environment, you have to have everyone on side and you go, do you like that player? Do you like that player? I don't like him because he can't run. I don't like him because he can't pass. Whatever the argument is, you agree in a room, you buy the player and you walk out and you go, he is a Man United player. All I'm hearing now is, Ten Hag bought him, John Murta bought him, the Glazers bought him, and it's like, that would never happen for the last 30 years. And I don't know where that's coming from, because if I was in charge of that football club, I would go, right, everyone get on the same page, you might all disagree, but in an elite environment, have to have elite discussions, which means you disagree, you argue, you speak about it, you close the door, you walk out, and you all agree when you walk out that it's not your fault, my fault, everyone's getting blamed, and it's a blame culture, and it doesn't actually sit right, to be honest with you. I like Ten Hag, I genuinely do like Ten Hag. I really think he's a top manager. I think he's literally just on his own there and not really getting the help that he needs. I think you are running the biggest football club in the world, you should have the best CEO. We've not got one, he's left. We've got to have the best sporting director, got the best X, Y, Z, all the way. And everyone that I look at in an elite, in a real high level job at the football club, they're nowhere near the top 10 in the world. And we're the biggest football club in the world, so how is it going to work? I feel sorry for Ten Hag, to be honest with you. He's not getting backed. He's getting back money-wise. He's getting back money-wise. He spent a lot of money, so you can't say that. But there's no one standing up and going, we are Man United, we go through a process, we buy this player because we check. This is not a Ten Hag signing, it's not a John Murta signing or the Glazers signing, it is a Manchester United signing, and that's it. And if they fail, they fail. If they do well, they do well. But it's like a blame game thing. It's not great.
So patreon.com/Hans George is where you can find the full coverage of our evening with Nicky Butt. And now I'm going to sign off where we started, with Nicky Butt's prediction that we may be waiting another 10 years before we see Manchester United back at the top of English football.
I think Man United have to get the right people in the right places, and they have to have a plan, and everyone's got to be patient, because we're not going to win it next year, we're not going to win it the year after, we're not winning after that. We might get lucky and win one in the next 3 or 4 or 5 years, but fundamentally we're not going to get to the top again, because the 10-year cycle, look at history. Look at history of the football club.
What a way to end on a high, isn't it? Just really looking forward to the game tomorrow now, thank you. But thank you so much for coming, Nicky, and joining me. Give it up for Nicky Butt, everyone.